Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is your third favorite tarot reader. I'm here to do tarot reading, obviously, about the masculines. Okay, so this is a twin flame reading, and we're going to focus on the divine masculines today. Okay, so today is Monday, March 2nd, probably. All right, more than likely. And so we're going to be taking a look at the energy of the masculines, what they're experiencing at this time, what they may experience in the near future, the headspace, heart space, how they're thinking and feeling towards the feminines, and then of course just in sort of actions that they'll be taking in the near future, okay? And just to sort of FYI, for all those who don't know, time is fluid and energy changes, so just keep that in mind as you watch these things and try not to make them into some sort of escapism like I do with Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, okay? Alright guys, so let's just take a look and get started and really just get 4 or 5 cards about the masculine's energy. So what is going on with the masculine energy at this time? Alright, let's take a look. So we have the Five of Wands, okay? So the Five of Wands, so some type of conflicts going on within their lives right now. Maybe some arguments, some debates. Maybe it's just, kind of a hectic period, right? But we do have a Six of Wands, so you have a progression already. So heading into a place where they're going to be feeling successful. A lot of masculines right now might be struggling, going through some things. What kinds of things, you may ask? Well, it could be hardships within relationships, family, business, people, conflicts just within sort of the paradigms of their own life at this time, right? After we have the Moon card, so there is this element of sort of confusion right now, sort of shadows going on throughout this reading, right? These are the minor arcana, so sort of talking about the day-to-day sort of feelings and energies and stuff, and then this Moon is talking about a larger kind of theme, right? We do have the Nine of Wands, so this element of having to persevere, right? They might be feeling worn out, probably have been through a lot over these past winter months, right? But spring is sort of coming out here. Darkest before the dawn. We do have the Devil card, right? So having to persevere through codependencies, karmic attachments, things like that. And then just to get one more to see what's going on with the energies this week for the masculines. And then we have Justice. So we do have some type of balance and sort of equilibrium coming in through past mistakes or past devil energies and sort of things that are chaining them back. They are going to get justice and truth really about these situations, right? So first and foremost, starting back at the beginning, we have the Five of Wands, right? So the Five of Wands, again, is about competition, conflict, so there could be arguments going on within the spheres of their life. Personally, I've been having some sort of, I wouldn't say arguments, but a lot of sort of people having problems with me recently, even though I haven't really been doing anything particularly bad. I live in a place where I share it with other people, and it seems like every time I move, I do something wrong. So, Five of Wands energy, right? It's this energy of having to combat, to be defensive, compete, and having to fight for what's yours, having to fight for your space, right? So they could be in this element of that kind of energy, right? And it's just feeling argumentative, maybe just a little bit on edge, right? And not feeling very relaxed, right? But then we have the Six of Wands to sort of indicate that they're getting into this period of being successful, right? Now this has to do with expression as well, the Six of Wands. It has to do with expressing emotions, expressing feelings, like getting that long-awaited I love you, but it also has to do with being in a very creative period where they're going to be feeling, I think their day-to-day energy is going to be picking up to where they're going to get that sort of spring energy, right? Darkest before the dawn type of thing. So there is this successful period coming in where they are going to be not fearing, well, they might be fearing something, but they are going to be feeling much more in tune with their passion, with their soul, and able to move forward past this Five of Wands energy, right? Getting over the conflict to a peaceful resolution within their own life, right? We then had in the Moon card, which is sort of indicating maybe it's even going all the way back to this Five of Wands, because the Moon card has to do with your intuition. You can see the moon here, the crow being sort of enlarged in the darkness and the brightness of the moon, but it doesn't indicate anything real. Obviously, crows aren't that big. If I ever saw a crow that big, I would move at least 1,000 miles away from wherever the fuck I am. So it's sort of just this element of things can seem very kind of scary at night and in the dark, and you're not really sure what's true and what's false, right? So there's this element of having to use their intuition to guide them through a very confusing, chaotic time where they're not really sure what the next step is, right? And especially when you're on this awakening journey, you're not too sure what what to do next, because oftentimes those plans and those goals that you used to have before this kind of journey are kind of out the window, and now you're being asked to trust your intuition, your higher self, and of course the influences of what you would call source of the universe, or even some of you might call it God. But this idea of just navigating through different illusions and stuff like that, right? Finding their path in the darkness. Um, Almost as if you're only being illuminated and you only have the moon to guide you through a dark forest or something like that, right? And then we have this energy of perseverance, of being worn out, even of seeing, having their guard up and stuff like that, but they could just be feeling very tired, um, exhausted even, and it probably has a lot to do with the devil energy, negative energies and influences that are chaining them. Now, this could be jealousy, which I experience a lot in my own life, especially actually being in the twin flame relationship. You get a lot of jealousy from people who are envious of the connection and the energy that the people share. So, that's always something to watch out for as well. Not just with relationships, of course, with anything. But, jealousies. Of course, this could be karmic attachments, partners that they're with. Because you can see this blue jay here. I mean, it might not be a blue jay. It looks like a blue hummingbird or something. But this sort of free, joyous kind of bird, right? Smaller, though, being held captive by this solid sort of foundation attached to a large kind of devil-like figure. Obviously, some type of codependency going on here, right? Now, again, this could have to do with things other than people. It could be those drugs, but you know how much people love drugs. It's fun shit. But yeah, going into a place where things are a little bit, having to persevere against these things, right? Having to sort of keep going forward, right? Past the bullshit that's kind of in their life, right? It's kind of like if you've ever done a mud run. I've done a mud run before in San Diego, so when I used to live there, and what you would do is you would run, well, you would run through mud, obviously. But no, it's like an obstacle course where you kind of just like persevere through a whole bunch of obstacles, downhills, mudslides, kind of just, you get really dirty and it's hard, it's super hard, and it's really hard to do. Um, and uh, and so it's just this difficult thing that you have to persevere through, but at the end you do it, and you do get to this place where you feel completely successful, because you've, of course, set out to do something, and you were successful at doing it. So the Nine of Wands is saying that there might be some energy here where, yeah, they're going to have to persevere, and maybe they'll have some spiritual strength because of that, and relying on that strength to get things done. And of course, leading towards a justice card, right? Just towards balance, towards some type of equilibrium, some type of truth and justice over karmic matters, right? So finally getting the sort of justice and truth coming in to sort of set the balance and set the record straight in their own life and give them an opportunity to get peace, right? So there is some kind of peaceful resolution coming, some type of external or internal truth, possibly both, that leads them to finally ridding themselves of any karmic negative attachments, demonic sort of entities, negative entities, whatever you want to call them, that have attached themselves to these people, to these masculines here, and finally getting in that equilibrium, that balance, right? So that's what's going on with their energy for this week. And a fun fact, I never actually did a mud run. That was bullshit. That was the only example I could think of. But if you ever do a mud run, do it because I told you to. Okay, guys, so here we go. Take a look at their headspace and how they're feeling towards you guys. Alright, so how are the masculines thinking about their feminines at this time? What's their headspace like? Headspace. So, okay, so they do have the twin flame connection on their mind, definitely thinking about their divine partner right here. This is that marriage card, that union. So even possibly thinking about teaming up, right? Thinking about giving you guys a gift, or thinking as the feminines as the gift of the universe, right? Something that they didn't necessarily deserve. But then we do have the Nine of Swords, so there is still some anxiety and some sleepless nights about this relationship, right? Now, what this could mean for many of you guys, if you're not in a relationship or committed with the twin flame, so if you guys aren't in communication, let's say, they just have this element of thinking about you guys, thinking about what it's, the marriage, the union, the partnership, the twin flame connection, right? So it's very much on their mind a lot. And because it probably is causing a Nine of Swords energy, sleepless nights, probably having trouble sleeping, because they're not sure about how to bridge the gap in the separation, especially with the Six of Pentacles, talking about, giving you guys a gift, thinking about you guys as a gift, thinking again about how to balance out the connection with their work life, family life, personal life, and all the different areas of their life, right? So this connection is very much on their mind, trying to bridge the passion, the romance, the love, the marriage, right? The ideas of marriage, and the physical, the money, the gifts, seeing what they can do for you, what they can do for themselves, how much they can weigh it out and decide to give you, because clearly they're thinking about you a lot. But that's causing them anxiety because they're not sure about the future, right? Thinking about the future too much, thinking about how it's all going to pan out and work out, and that might be, of course, very difficult because it's hard to predict, again, like I said up there, what's coming next, and that's again what the moon energy is talking about. It makes a lot of sense why they'd have the Nine of Swords right now, because it's just like this sort of, again, you have the birdcage feeling trapped, you have the moon, you have the clouds, you have the swords, you sort of have this just shadowy kind of figures going on here, and there's just a lot of sort of different things keeping them up, not sure what to do with their life, with their information, with the connection, not sure how to proceed forward. Not sure how to make things even right if there's arguments or things like that. So there's a lot of overthinking and anxiety, as much as there is very good feelings, which is, of course, thinking about you guys, thinking about the connection, thinking even about long-term plans and gifts and things like that. So moving on to the heart space, we'll take a look at how they are feeling towards the feminines at this time. So how are the masculines feeling towards their feminines? Take a look. Heart space. Okay, so we do have the Knight of Wands, so inside of their heart space, very passionate, wanting to move forward. Strength card. So there is this element of deep bond. If you guys are giving them strength, that means that they're, you're the reservoir for their courage. And then, of course, we have two knights here, so type of element of friendship, Knight of Cups, which is about offers of love, right? So, and first and foremost, we'll start with the two knights, because the strength card bonds them together. So the two knights, the Knight of Wands, very, very fast, right? Very fast-paced energy. Knight of Cup, slower, right? You can see the difference here, the sort of crow charging alongside the horse with the wand upright, and then, of course, the cup on top of the horse's head, sort of bowing down as if sort of giving that sort of offer, like you've seen horses do that in movies and stuff. I'm not sure what, I guess that's a bow. I'm sure they have a specific name for it, but I don't know what it is. I didn't watch a lot of horse movies, so I don't know. I do know that equestrian is like a fancy word for horse stuff, right? Yeah, I don't know what kind. It's just regular horse riding, right? Equestrian. It could be horse porn. I'm not entirely sure, but the idea here is about an offer, right? Crow, kind of flying gently. So what it's saying here is inside their heart space, they feel a lot of passion, wanting to pick up things within this relationship. Again, coming out underneath the Four of Wands, so they do have this passion, they do have this love. The Knight of Cups is, of course, wanting to offer you things. So they're kind of trying to bridge the passion, the creative, the partnerships, the elements of the reality that you guys are sharing, right? This connection, the energy between you two, but they're also wanting to come in here and offer something. and give something real. Now, the only warning with the Knight of Cups is that sometimes it can be more of a charming kind of proposal that doesn't necessarily have a lot of weight to it, but nonetheless, it is a proposal, but it does come with a sort of warning. But it's an offer. It's a real offer of love. It's, here is something. So their heart space, again, feeling the connection, wanting to connect, and wanting to offer their emotions and their feelings towards you guys. And the reason that the strength card is here is saying that the strength is bonding them to keep going. Again, they have the spiritual strength up here, and they have the strength more down here. Saying that inside their heart space, you guys give them strength. Pretty self-explanatory, right? Giving them the confidence and power that they need, right? But also having this element of grace. And then you have the 8 up there to indicate the sort of infinity that you guys share throughout lifetimes and this internal connection, right? So the heart space is good. Mental space is pretty good. There's just this sort of anxious thoughts and stuff like that. But of course, that has to do more with their inability to relax and be in the flow more than it has to do with you guys. And trust me, that's coming from an advanced overthinker. So I know what it's like. So let me take a look now at the actions that they're going to be taken towards you guys. Okay. So what actions are the masculines going to be taken towards the feminines in the near future? And again, different things if you guys are separate or communicating or just light communication, right? general reading, obviously. All right. Okay, so we do have Five of Swords. This is conflict and defeat. Maybe some things happened in the past. We do have the Page of Cups, right? So going from conflict and defeat to an offer to some sort of resolution. Messages of love. We have the Four of Pentacles and the World, right? So sort of an element of holding on to finances too tightly, maybe not having enough, but we have a cycle, a completion of a cycle, which would be a good place to end, all things considered, but I'll do one more, and that's the Two of Wands, which is partnerships, and again, some type of planning, right? It's planning for the future. So, again, you guys might have arguments, recent things like that, but, you know, compromises being made, so for a lot of you guys, it's about walking away. So a lot of masculines are walking away from the defeats, from the conflict within their minds, for the conflicts that maybe you two have shared, and of course from the negative influences in their energy, right? So moving on, moving forward, you know, again, as an action card, it's talking about basically, anyway, there could be arguments that you guys have, but I think it has more to do with the past and moving on from it, because after we have the Page of Cups, and again, Page of Cups talking about offers of love. Like the Knight of Cups, it's a little bit slower, because there is this offer, there is this gift inside this cup, but the crow is sort of drinking from it as well. So it's sort of a smaller kind of offer, a message, a communication, you know, Facebook, Instagram, Pornhub, whatever it is you guys are using to communicate with each other. Just this element of offers and stuff like that, right? You have the starfish and the crab here, sort of just, you know, the elements of the emotion, the types of things that come along with the relationship itself, right? Different kinds of, you know, hopes and dreams and ideals that they would like to share with you, right? So it's really about open communication more than sort of any kind of legitimate partnership, but again, in their heart space, they already had the Knight of Cups, so the card already came out, right? So the Page of Cups is pretty healthy. Pretty good stuff. Again, they might be focused maybe on their own self-love at this time, but it's not to say that they're not communicating with you guys as well. And the Four of Pentacles is about a couple things. It could mean that, of course, they're sort of trying to hold on to the finances. Maybe they don't have a lot right now. Could be that that they're holding on too tightly to what they do have and not sharing enough of it. But so as an action card, it could mean what I get the feeling of the most, I should say, is that there's just financial issues and that they're needing to hold on to what they have. And again, maybe that's why the Page of Cups is not, you know, a little bit lower in the sort of terms of proposals, right? Because they're feeling again how to make everything happen, and it kind of could of course be with their mind state with that Nine of Swords that I was talking about, because they could be staying up a lot because they're thinking about finance and stuff like that, how to best be, you know, be the provider and the person, right? And I know that there's archetypes and roles there of the man and the woman, as it were, but of course any decent sort of person, I think, maybe not decent's the right word, but I think a lot of people would, they enjoy, you know, helping, right, caring and providing, right? I don't know if it necessarily has to do with men or women, but, you know, speaking as a person, I always want to be the one that helps others, whether or not they're male or female, right? But anyway, they do move on to the World, so there is a completion here, and an ending to an old cycle again, which is great because they had the Justice card in their energy, so they are getting to a place where they are going to be in this completion, relationship coming to a new level, things coming to a head, basically being able to feel the healthy, happy energy again, right? Being able to get things they've wanted, right? So this relationship coming to a head, turning into a new belief system, into a new cycle, where the old is replaced with the new, and this entire new chapter sort of begins, right? It's just a resolution of all things, right? Moving away from any conflict and negativity towards just this positive outlook, this outcome. And then, of course, when they get into that action, right, moving forward, like the World, when it comes to relationships, it's really about getting what you want and having a happy, harmonious relationship. And then the Two of Wands here is about planning and partnership, adventure. You know, you have these two birds here ready to travel the world together. So again, planning trips, guys going on trips together, you know, whether or not, you know, short trips, train trips, bus trips, or going larger places like Detroit. I'm not sure why you'd want to go there, or Peru, you know, Japan, wherever you guys taking trips, going on romantic journeys together, but also planning with each other for the future, right? Which is a positive outlook, of course, as well. So it is showing a lot of positive actions for you guys moving forward over this near future. But again, this is for this week, so expect some sort of some shifts in the energy, especially in March, because it is a powerful month. this month, right? March is actually a really good time to renewal of energy with the spring kind of energy that's coming around. All right. So hopefully, guys, the reading was helpful. And again, all the services that I offer, whether if you guys want to book a personal reading with me, that is in the description box, along with a bunch of other self-promotional stuff that I won't bore you with. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.